of everything that we've been talking about this week, because this week we've been talking about how to create your 5K in 30 days and how to do that by crowdfunding. And this gets me really excited because if you guys don't know me, I'm Jess Allen. I'm a singer-songwriter and also a crowdfunding coach. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is because I am so passionate about getting artists funded, equipped, and putting out their music. It is expensive. It is a big financial and time commitment to create original music. And so that's why I'm so passionate about crowdfunding. It is one of the most simple, it's not easy, but it is the most simple ways to create the funds very quickly. And one of the things that I always preach is connection plus urgency equals currency. So connection always first. A lot of people on day one of this live series, we talked about a lot of questions people have about crowdfunding. And in fact, if you have a question about crowdfunding, put it in the chat below. I'll do my best to answer this live. This is my last day going live for the week. So if you have any urgent questions about crowdfunding, definitely put it in the chat. But on day one, we talked about questions that artists usually ask. And one of them is crowdfunding mooching off people? And my biggest response to that is, if you prioritize connection and vision and you know who you are in this process, it won't be that, because generosity is a two-way street. It is giving and receiving. It's not just giving, right? So many times we think that, right? Well, if I'm not giving myself away fully, running myself into the ground, I'm not being generous. And the fact of the matter is, we get to receive and give, and it gets to be a exchange of both. And that's healthy. That's how we've all existed for, however many years we've been on this planet. It's always been a give and receive to each other. And that's one of the reasons I love crowdfunding. It is a way to create generosity in the world. It's a way to create vision for people. It's a way to be an artist that represents something and inspires people. So that's something I love about crowdfunding. So if you have a question about crowdfunding in the chat, I'm going to go over everything that I did to create that 5K in 30 days in the next few minutes. But if you have a burning question, definitely put in the chat. We'll be sure to answer it. So let me just pull up my little slideshow here. Can you guys see it? Let's see. I think I need to shift the view. Here we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. How I created 5K in 30 days. And really, again, the reason I'm so passionate about this is it is simple to follow if you prioritize connection. So let's just see who would be the right person to do what I'm doing. So are you tired of self-funding all your projects and then getting to the end of the year and it's like, oh, I gave all this work, I gave so much and I did not profit anything. I just kind of tied myself over. So if that's you, then you're in the right place. Are you a music artist who has a story to share, to inspire people and lift them up? If that's you, you're in the right place. Are you a creative problem solver? Are you willing to take risks to create your vision? And if so, you're in the right place. And I want to add one more. We talked about this on Monday live. If you haven't seen the replays, you can see little snippets of this throughout the week in the lives. But are you a mission-driven artist? Are you a purpose-driven artist? Do you feel like this is part of your calling in life? If so, callings need funding. If so, missions get to be funded. And so there may be people in your life that really want to support you, you just have never asked them. And that is kind of what I found myself in a few years ago. So we'll be covering 3 pillars of how I crowdfunded 5K in 30 days with 0 fans, really. And if you have a fan base, you can do this too. You can use this system. You could double, triple. That is kind of like the basis. This is kind of a short version of a webinar that I do, but I encourage you to be present, 100% present. You don't have to put your camera on because we're not on Zoom, but sit down at your computer, listen, take notes, have a pen and paper out, because I will be dropping the nuggets, exactly what I did. After hearing what I'm about to share with you today, one of the artists that I work with created $1,200 right after just watching the webinar. So these are amazing to create abundance, wealth in your life. So definitely take some notes. This is going to be a step-by-step action plan, and we're not doing a replay because this is not the webinar. So again, my name is Jess Allen. I've been a music coach for the last 15 plus years. I've crowdfunded and released an EP called The Unveiling, and I am a leadership transformation coach, as well as I have a mission to help 1,000 artists go from stagnant, self-critical, and hiding into free, resilient, expressed, and empowered. And a big reason that I'm on this journey is because after 3 years of hiding, really 10 years this album was in the making, but I started self-funding it about 3 years before I crowdfunded. And I just kept running into these roadblocks. I kept going back into hiding. I kept running out of funds. And, you know, they're all connected. So crowdfunding is really the vehicle that released me into the world to put my music out there. It released me into my confidence. It released me into my courage. It released me into community and sharing myself for the first time, really. So that is one of the reasons I'm so passionate about crowdfunding. It is the vehicle that got me out of my head into service for other people and really sharing my art with people. So if you relate hiding, I've been there too. If you relate with run out of funds, I've been there too. And I've been around the block with different coaches and leaders in the industry. Michael Jackson's teacher there in the corner. We got my teacher, Lorna, in the corner. If you're there, Lorna, shout out to you. That's me at NAMM in the top left corner. That's me with Greg Enriquez with some Grammy Awards behind the scenes there. So I've been around the industry, and really what I notice is that artists all get stuck in the same place. No matter if you're in Hollywood or you're in Canvas writing your songs, we all get stuck in the same places. And that would be time. Say me if you relate to this. Time, money, perfectionism, doing it by ourselves. And so no matter what, where you are, we all have faced these things. If you're facing some of these things right now, you are not alone. You are in the right place. And there is a system that I've put together to where you can really reap rewards of seeds that you've sown in the past or are about to sow right now. In other words, there is abundance all around you. A lot of coaches that talk about crowdfunding say you do need to build a fan base before profiting. I say we are surrounded by resources and abundance right now. If you want to put on a 50K crowdfund, you're going to need to build a fan base. But if there is something that I have learned is that we are surrounded by resources and abundance if we're in connection or urgency, and I would add courage as well. If we are in courage, if we are in vision, those things can come into place in monetary results. And this is how I did it. I'm about to share. This is one of the artists that I've worked with. This is Marlena. Shout out to Phoenix Band. They crowdfunded back in October, and they created their 5K in 30 days. They're a cover band. They didn't really have much of a fan base. They grew their fan base while they crowdfunded with me, and their crowdfunding training actually helped them prepare for some state grants as well. So there are grants for artists. There are so many ways to pull in the abundance, and you just got to get around the right people who know. And this is Wes. He's one of my other artists that I'm working with. He's a videographer. After my session with Jess, I'm confident I can create this to 10K and beyond. So Wes is very connected. He's very confident in what he does, but he's still on the beginning side of his artist journey. So those are some examples of people crowdfunding, doing the thing, and being courageous about it. So here we go. I'd like to make an opportunity in the chat, and I'm swapping screens here. So I'd love to know, what's your next project that you're working on? Are you working on a album next? Are you working on a hey, Clara, is Instagram working with the camera? I just want to make sure, because I don't see me in the camera, but I see the crowdfunding 5K. Just want to make sure it's working. And again, what is the next project that you're working on? Is it an album? Is it an EP? We can give you a shout out here. Okay, Instagram is working. Very good. And I'd love to hear it in the chat. So, what is your next project? Comment in the chat and we can talk about that. For me, what I did was I worked on a EP, and that's what I crowdfunded for. So, what is the next thing that you're launching, creating, investing in, and what could you have investors invest in? Go ahead and put it in the chat. So I'll give you guys a second to do that. What is your next project that you're working on? Okay. You know, projects go through phases, is what I noticed. Whatever project you're in, you've got like the vision phase, you've got the putting it together phase, and you've got the launching it phase. So, what if I could show you a strategy that supports you regardless of what you are in, what phase you are in your project? And that is crowdfunding. What is crowdfunding? For those who don't know, the practice of funding a project or venture by raising small amounts of money from a large amount of people, so typically via the internet. And, oh, I don't know what happened to the rest of my slides here. Here, they're loading. Okay. So now I'm going to walk through the 3 pillars that helped me crowdfund 5K in 30 days. And these are the pillars that I went through throughout this week live. So if you didn't catch the replays are up, but I'm going to go over them semi-quickly today just as a review and a recap for the week. So pillar 1, this is where you guys can get out your pen and paper and pay attention. So you're going to write down number 1, pillar 1, your signature story. What is the story behind your project? Why is this project important to you, and what does this project do for others? This is the pillar of the foundation of building your house, right? If this crowdfund is like building a house to host a party in, this is your foundation. Connection plus urgency equals that currency. So what is the story behind your project? An example of this is one of the people that I look up to as a crowdfunding coach is Justin Giddings. He's a crowdfunding coach for filmmakers. And one of his clients really literally said, started with saying, hey, my grandma passed last year. And even though his story, his project had nothing to do with his grandma, that was why the project was important to him. And he said, I know that she would want me to do this. I know that this is something that she would encourage me in. And so this project is dedicated to her. And then he went on and talked about the story of the project, which had was a story, a film that he was putting together. So what is the story behind the project? An example of this would be, for me, I would call someone up and I'd say, hey, I've been putting off this project for 10 years. And I know that if I keep putting it off, it literally hurts inside. I've been in hiding from my giftings. I feel like I'm going to die if I don't get this project out. And, the project, it's about my voice counting. It's about my voice being powerful. It's about me being more than enough to create. And, whatever judgment comes my way, I'm going to do it anyways. It's about me being courageous. It's about me knowing who I am. It's about identity. So I know that this project is going to impact people's hearts and minds. And in fact, people have been calling me crying on the phone saying, oh my gosh, I don't really cry with music, but your music makes me cry. So do you see what I'm saying with your story? It's connecting to your story, who you are, the vision of this project, why it's important to you, and what this project will do for others. So I'm not going to go too much more into it, but really, this is the foundation of everything. If you want to hear more, definitely go to the replay of Tuesday, which was day 2 of this live series. You'll definitely want to see that. You're going to write your story in 3 different versions, by the way. One of them is your opt-in video script, your page description, and then your social media. So you're going to have this story. Once you get the story down, it's like the same story over and over and over again. You get interviewed on the news, it's the same story. You film your opt-in video for the campaign, it's the same story. You write the page description for the campaign, it's the same story. You get interviewed by a magazine, same story. This, I'm telling you, is the foundation, and this is the part. Okay. Awesome. So, number 2. If you got it, say I got it with signature story. Say got it. Got it. First pillar 2, we've got teams and systems, and I know there's been a slideshow upload here. All right, Clara says our PowerPoint has uploaded, so I'm going to try to do something real quick. I'm going to switch over to another way of presenting. Let's check it out here. Okay, cool. Oops. All right, here we go. All right, cool. And then I'm going to go full screen here. Oh, great. Awesome. Thanks, Claire. We are sorting out some new technical things here. So I'm excited to get this in a different technical way. So jumping in, teams and systems. Who is your team? So when we have a team, there's more synergy. There's more likelihood that people will be paying attention because you've got more people, more excitement, more help on your team. So team is very important. Your team could literally be people who have already been supporting you, right? People who believe you, love you, trust you, know you, and they've been investing in you for years. Your team could literally be these people who remind you who you are, and be brainstorming about that. Who you're going to ask to be on your team before the campaign even starts. Number 1, to remind you who you are when you feel like you're failing, because we all face that. When we do hard things, we're going to feel like we're failing all the time. Who's in your corner? Who is that person? Who's your cheerleader? That's number 1. Number 2, you might want to be building a team with the technical aspects. Clara, who I've been talking about, she's on my team. She's helping me with the technical aspects of my presentation here, and I couldn't do it without her. So who's on your team for this campaign? Then you've got the people who just literally want to share your campaign when it starts, right? So yes, thank you, Clara. The 3 F's, your friends, family, and fans. These are the different types of people that you're going to want to have on your team. And I have a spreadsheet for my clients that I use to organize all of this so that it's not difficult. So let's go to the next slide. Oh, there we go. So let's talk about systems. Systems are very important in running a business, and those systems sustain you after. So the problem that I see with people who do crowdfunding campaigns is they go at it like it's a singular event. Like, okay, once this campaign is over, I don't continue. And what you want to do is use this campaign to set up systems that pay you over time, that continue to sow seeds and reap rewards. So social media is a system that you want to have in place before you start your crowdfund. Your email list. I'm working with 2 clients right now on just building their email list before they launch their campaign in, I would say, March, April time. So, there's a few ways to build your email list. I'm not going to go into them now, but there are certain things you want to set up before that are systems so that you can have the best launch ever. Facebook groups are another thing. I personally did a Facebook group and auctioned off items for the campaign. So it was a lot of fun. You can create a lot of community during this campaign. You are being a leader. You are stepping into a place of leading the way for people, and people respond. when you know your story, you know who you are, people do respond. So let's go to the next one. Okay, we've got future systems platform. So future systems that you want to set up. Okay, so there's past systems that you might have in place already. And then there's future systems that you want to set up for the campaign, the actual campaign that you probably don't have in place yet. So picking a platform. Indiegogo is a great one. Kickstarter, there's a pros and cons list that I have. If you're curious about that, just let me know. And then Andy Baker and I, the founder of Rocket Fuel, are doing a partnership right now with Rocket Fuel, who, and I'll just put a little plug in here for Andy. He has created a platform that is Indiegogo slash Kickstarter slash Patreon slash Bandcamp. So it's all in one place, one platform. To be continued about our partnership, and I'm making some announcements probably at the end of February, so be looking out for that. If you're curious about that partnership, put Rocket in the chat and I'll get you all the info that you need to talk to if you're curious about how we're partnering, me and Andy Baker from Rocket Fuel. So then you want to film your opt-in video is the next thing that is probably very campaign specific, right? That we can talk about as well. I hired someone to film it, but you could literally use your iPhone. There's been very successful crowdfunds, just people on their iPhone. So it's kind of up to you and your creativity. Auction Facebook group is something that I did. I'm kind of moving away from doing just a Facebook group for the auction because you can actually put auction items into your crowdfunding bundles, which is the last one, which is your reward bundles. You want to think of things that people are wanting from you when they give. So they're not just donating nothing, right? They're donating for nothing. They are donating so that you can have, so that they can have something from you. So you're going to reward them with live shows. You're going to reward them with digital products. You're going to reward them with merch. You're going to reward them with all sorts of things. Maybe a social media shout out. Maybe they get credits on the album cover. You know, you can be very creative with this. And you can also call other business owners that you know who can donate items to your crowdfunding bundles. And you can put those items as a thing that people can reap the rewards from. So there's so many creative things. And the last thing is a very specific social media plan for the crowdfund. And Clara and I work together on the social media. So, you know, with my clients, it's all taken care of when you come into our system. But you can do this on your own. You can say, okay, posting every day, you know, what does that look like? And there is a strategy to it. We won't go too much into it, but if that's something you're curious about, put social media in the chat and I will get you connected to Clara. All right. So launching your campaign is pillar number 3. We went over this yesterday. And if you're with me so far, put a thumbs up in the chat. If you got pillar number 1, which is signature story, and then pillar number 2, teams and systems, put a thumbs up in the chat because we are about to move to pillar number 3, launching your campaign. So when you're launching your campaign, you want to be connected to what you're doing every day. So you've got a daily to-do list, you've got different phone calls, and you've got live events. With this daily to-do list, give a little blurb here. We've got social media posts, we've got email updates, we've got countdown photos, and you're going to be reaching out to people every day of the campaign. I'm going to go over this real quick, what this looks like, because a lot of people get scared about this. Like, oh my gosh, I have to call people, I have to text people. What are they going to think of me? And the thing is, again, if you're clear on your vision and your story, reaching out to people is really fun. I'll tell you that. And so if you have a little bit of hesitation, I hear this from artists all the time because us as artists, we love to convey our thoughts through our music. It's like, well, don't ask me to tell it to you. Just go listen to my song. And that is totally awesome. And I'm the same way. And there is a strength to knowing how to communicate your vision in words. And the cool thing about having a signature story is once you get it down, you can use that signature story for 6 months and you can have it practiced. Anyone can learn this. You don't have to be a genius to be able to share your story. I mean, you just have to be authentic and connected to what you're doing. And most artists I know are. So if that's you, you've totally got this reach out part. All you got to do is start with your story. And I'll give an example of this. One of my friends, John, I hadn't seen him in a few years. Sometimes calling up our closest friends are scarier, and sometimes calling up people we haven't seen in 10 years is scarier. So let me know which one is more scary for you, like calling up your regular friends or calling up the ones you haven't seen in a long time. But really, the thing with this is you're going to be very connected. And if people jump on a phone call with you or message you back, they like you to an extent. I mean, they're at least curious. And so what I did with John, I sent him a voice message. I said, "Hey, John, what part of the world are you in? Long time no see. I'm working on a project. Thought of you. Are you open to a quick phone call?" And then after that, John said, "Oh, yeah, for sure." So we jumped on a quick phone call, caught up a little bit, and I said, "Hey, John, the reason I'm reaching out to you is because I've had this project burning inside me, and it's been in here for like 10 years. It's been ruminating, it's been boiling, and I have finally decided to be courageous and release an original EP of the music that I've written. The songs are about me finding my voice, knowing that I can communicate with courage, that I am more than enough, that I can really share my story and not be ashamed of it. And I think this album is really going to touch people's hearts. I mean, people have already been calling me saying, "Wow, like this song made me cry." So I really think it's going to be good. I'm wondering, no pressure at all, but if you'd be open to just supporting in any way you want, and I can share that with you right now. And then John would say, "Oh, totally. Yeah, like tell me how I can support you." And then I would say, "Okay, here's 3 ways you can support me. Number 1, you could donate. I could send you the link, or if you want to say invest, your audience a little bit better, but or your friends, right? If you want to invest in the project, I can send you the link. If you want to just join my free Facebook group, here's, I could send you the link, or you can come to my live show that I'm hosting at the end of the campaign. It's on this date, this time. I'm be sharing all my original songs. Those are some ways that you could support which one of those do you think would be good for you?" And they would say, "Oh, this one would be really good for me. I'd love to support you financially. I'd love to come to the free show. And actually, I might bring a friend." So this is literally how it happens. You don't need a big fan base, but you do need connection. You do need a crowd. You do need people in your life that are that know, like, and trust you. You need people in your life, maybe they're on your Facebook, they haven't seen you in a while. So those are the better questions to be asking. Do I need a big fan base? You can, but you can also have great connection with people. One of the really empowering things about crowdfunding, or you can have both and you can create a bigger crowd. So those are the ways that you can get involved with sharing yourself during the campaign. And again, I would not count anyone out. I would call everyone you know. Don't judge anyone. Just reach out to them, let them make their own decision. And then the last thing about the campaign is your live event. It's going to be an event that you share some of your music, that you create an experience for people. How can they really experience you and know that this crowdfund is creating an artist who's going to be sharing themselves with people? So you don't need to be performing every week, but this one event could create lots of things for you. So online or in person, I did it online. You set a date for it, and then you pick the event details. And that's pretty much it for the live event. Okay, so just checking in here. Do you guys see the possibility of yourself crowdfunding? If so, put me in the chat. Because I'm going to be talking about some different ways, excuse me, that you can take action on this right now. And one of the ways you can take action is by putting it in your calendar, saying, okay, I'm ready to crowdfund. This is something that I'd like to do. I am going to take the next step with Jess. And one next step that you can take with me is that I am actually hosting a live event on February 23rd and 24th, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the 23rd, and 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the 24th. I am helping a bunch of artists start their crowdfunds. So we're going to be going over these 3 pillars in depth, and we're going to be talking about how to set everything up. We're going to be workshopping your signature stories together and sharing about how we can, do people relate with this story. You're going to get feedback from other artists. We've got Grammy-nominated artists who are coming, and we've got people who've been under Leah McHenry, another she's not just a crowdfunding coach, she's a artist coach in general, and she creates 100K crowdfunds. We've got some amazing artists coming, as well as some guest speakers in the works. So, which brings me to my second action point that I'll talk about in a second. So if you are someone who'd like to workshop these things with me, if you're someone who wants to take action on what you learned right now, comment workshop in the chat, and I can jump on a call with you. We can workshop it together on that call. It's about a 45-minute call. And then you can decide if the workshop is something that you want to do as well. But I'm willing to jump on a free call. It's just totally complimentary, and it's 45 minutes. Let's workshop what we can together and then kind of go from there. So if that's you, put workshop in the chat, and I will get you the info you need. Thank you, Claire. Oh, great. Want to workshop? Comment workshop. This is cool. We've been exploring this new streaming platform. It's pretty cool. It's called Restream. So if that's you, definitely put workshop in the chat. I'll get you all the details. If you have a friend that you want to bring, it is Share the Love Week for Valentine's Day. And so I am allowing you to bring a friend as well to the workshop. It is Share the Love Week. So let's share the love with each other. Send someone this live. Send them maybe tag them in this part of the live, and I can get you guys a double booking. So you guys can do it together. Guys, we don't have to do this alone. You don't have to do this alone. If you have projects on your heart, if you have a burning desire to create your music, but you keep running out of the funds, it's possible. It's possible. If you are a mission-driven artist, it's possible. If you are a purpose-driven artist, it's possible. And it's always something that, we don't have to do alone. In fact, it's a lot more powerful if we don't. Another strength about crowdfunding, you have to bring in people to your process, and you have accountability in that as well. So if that's something that you're curious about workshopping with me and with a group of others, or one-on-one with me, definitely put workshop in the chat, and I can definitely get you all the info that you need. We can jump on a call together, workshop it for about 45 minutes, and then go from there. So put workshop in the chat if that's you. My last announcement is that Andy Baker and I from Rocket Fuel are going to be announcing a partnership, and we're talking. I would like for him to be at the workshop. I still need to email him back and work out a few details, but the great thing about Andy is that he is a business-minded artist. So he knows how to create business plans, working within the numbers, so that you can use this crowdfund to produce the most amount of fans that really love you and trust you. You can use this crowdfunding process to create the most amount of funds possible for your next campaign. And we have some people releasing albums in September, doing Grammy campaigns. I mean, there is a plan to this. If you fail to plan, your plan will fail. And there's even some verses in the Bible that say many counselors make for plans to succeed, basically. If you have many people on your team who have different strengths, you are more likely to succeed. And so I'm getting you in the room with him on that workshop day. It's in the works still, but I'm gonna put it out there anyways because we are starting a partnership this month as well. So be on the lookout for that. If that's something that you're curious about, workshopping with me and Andy, put workshop in the chat. And as well as if you're curious about the partnerships that we're establishing, we're on a mission to help about 50 artists crowdfund in the next 3 months. So if that's something you want to be a part of, there's lots of different ways to be a part of it. Put Rocket in the chat, and I can get you the info about that. So again, workshops first, then put Rocket. If you want both, put both, because there are some major ways that you can take action on the information that you just learned. So that's all for now, guys. I see some comments in the chat. Yes, keep up the great work. You're helping people fulfill their dreams and missions. Exactly. Thank you so much. I think that was, who was that? Steve. Hey, Steve. Good to see you. All right. Who else do we have in the chat? We've got Jay Cardosa 17. What's up? How you doing? Cotmos. Okay. Thanks, Lorna. Thanks so much for being here. We've got Kiv. I cannot pronounce your name. It's Kivanc. Great to see you. What has been your greatest takeaway from this so far? I'd love to know. AMCJ11 has workshop. Okay, Glamster0 workshop. Okay. Can a signature story be created with ChatGPT? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can create your signature story. What I suggest, though, is you start with you, because if the signature story is not from your heart, it's going to be very manufactured by a robot. So yes, you can use the robot to create some versions of it, but what we'll be doing in the workshop is we'll be actually talking through it together. Like, I'll be giving you feedback, so the group will be creating our signature stories together. So you don't have to sound like a robot when you do share it. Okay, we've got Rocket. Lorna says Rocket. Okay, Lorna, I'll definitely send you the info. AMCJ says you're working on a single. Awesome. 5 to 6 singles. Glamster said, okay, cool. Awesome. So yeah, okay, I'm seeing the chat here now. Unfortunately, I can't see the chat as well live, but I can see you guys now. And if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. And otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up. So my boyfriend just came in town. We're going to go celebrate Love Week, and we're going to celebrate Valentine's Day today. So it is Share the Love Week. Share this with a friend. Share this with someone that you thought of while you were on this live. It's Share the Love Week. So share the love, as well as you can bring a friend to the workshop if the workshop is something that you want to come to. And have a great day, guys. Have a great day. Go create your visions. Go create your missions. You don't have to do it alone. I'm so glad you're here. There's a reason you're called to your art. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.